Hello, and welcome to Recapping with Delora
and Ashley.
Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Recapping Podcast.
Also, rate, review, and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast platform. We're on all the things.
We want to hear your thoughts on the movies and shows we review.
Leave us a comment on Apple Podcasts or our YouTube channel, and we will read them during the show.
Or reach out to us on social media. We love talking all things entertainment and pop culture with you.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you. Howdy, Ashley.
That's where we going.
Surprised you where we are.
Surprised you didn't whip out the cowboy hat like Ban on Higher Learning. Have you seen him with his cowboy hat?
Girl, yes. And I have to admit, I've been just sporadically been saying, whoa there. And then look at that horse, look at that horse, look at that horse.
Sterling K. Brown even enjoyed that lyric. So
my favorite though, there's too much to talk about. And we will be getting there for our hot topic. How was your weekend, Ashley?
Oh man, doing the most. I was exhausted. It was one of those where like I had multiple things to do in one evening. So I tried to make it to all the things. And then because of that, I didn't sleep well. So then the rest of my weekend was just kind of like exhausted, but still trying to be out and about and doing things. And I may have finally caught up on my sleep by today, hopefully feeling better. But it was all
they
good.
said there's no such thing as actually catching up on sleep though, right?
I'm sure. Once it's gone, it's gone. But at least I'm feeling like not a zombie again, because it took me out for at least 48 hours, that's for sure. But
I feel you.
It was all good things. Happy birthday to my girl Devonna. We celebrated her birthday over the weekend. So yeah, it was all good things. What about yours?
Yeah, it was a good weekend. Sometimes I'd be forgetting what I'll be doing.
Yes. Yes.
I'm like, what did I do? Oh, it was definitely a Cowboy Carter weekend. I will say that.
When I tell you Title did me so dirty, guess due to the demand, I couldn't even listen to the album over the weekend. Every time I tried, it said an error, retry.
That does not make any sense.
The whole weekend, Saturday and Sunday, could not listen. So I've only listened straight through probably like twice to the album.
What?
Yep. Title did me so dirty. I was so like, I can't even bop to this during my drives and my rides. Nothing.
That's not, my brain cannot compute that actually. Wow. I'm sorry, friend. Sorry.
Shout out to our podcast friend, Teresa, who's been on and joined us. She messaged me like, me and Manal are both loving it. Can't wait to hear you guys talk about it in the pod. And I'm like, girl, Title is trying to mess me up out here. They trying to not have me ready for the podcast, but I've made it through. So
whoa.
Yep.
Whoa there. Okay, sorry. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna just randomly say Spurs. Boots. Oh man, let's get into these headlines. All right, Ashley, we have some sad news starting off today's podcast. We're gonna first talk about the legend. Rest in peace, rest in power, Louis Gossett Jr. He passed away on March 29th at the age of 87 years old. I am looking at the Associated Press. It says Louis Gossett Jr., first Black man to win Supporting Actor Oscar, dies at 87 years old. They have a wonderful obituary here. It says Louis Gossett Jr., the first Black man to win Supporting Actor Oscar and an Emmy winner for his role in the seminal TV miniseries Roots, has died. He was 87 years old. Gossett's cousin, Neil L. Gossett, told the Associated Press that the actor died in Santa Monica, California. In the statement from the family, said Gossett died Friday morning. No cause of death was revealed. And he was such a legendary actor, Ashley. we just talked about his role in the Color Purple musical. And I think it's also worth mentioning that Coleman Domingo, friend of the pod, because I love him so much,
Hmm.
on Variety, he pays tribute to Gossett that and essentially said there would be no me if there was no him. Ashley, I was going to say, are you familiar with his work? But of course he is. I would love to
Yeah.
know some of your favorite projects of his that you've enjoyed through the years.
I don't know if I have a favorite project necessarily, but as usual, when I read things, I'm like, oh, that's right. Like An Officer and a Gentleman, which is one of my mom's all-time
Yes,
favorites. I saw Richard
yes,
Gere do a tribute to him. Just reminders of the body of work that he actually did and being the first Black man to win Best Supporting Actor. I didn't even know that. And Emmy winning for Roots. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just
exactly.
amazing to get a chance to like really understand and see what he was able to accomplish over his life. But the craziest thing from this article, Delora, I don't know if you read it in full. The craziest thing from this article is that he almost got going to Sharon Tate's house the night that they were all murdered by Charles Manson's folks. Girl,
Excuse me?
let me tell you, it says in August 1969, Gossett had been partying with members of the Mamas and Papas when they were invited to actor Sharon Tate's house. He headed home first to shower and change clothes. As he was getting ready to leave, he caught a newsflash on TV about Tate's murder. She and others were killed by Charles Manson's associates that night. He wrote, "There had to be a reason for my escaping this bullet." I literally, out loud, when I read that earlier, was like, what?
I, wow.
Girl,
Wow.
girl, girl. And lived on to the ripe old age of 87. God bless.
Wow. Wow. That's insane.
Yes, truly.
Wow. I I love that. And this is what Coleman Domingo in his tribute he brings up as well. He had such an esteemed career on the stage. In 1959, he received critical acclaim for his role on the Broadway production A Raisin in the Sun alongside Sidney Poitier and Ruby Dee and Diana Sands. Like,
Legendary, historical times. He also starred with Sammy Davis Jr.
yes. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I'm just so saddened to hear about this news. Praying for his family and friends during this difficult time. All right. So, Ashley, unfortunately, I have more sad news. I am looking at USA Today. Chance Perdomo from Chilling Adventures of Sabrina star dies at 27 years old. He is known to be incredibly talented. Over the weekend, news came that this rising star, known for his work on Gen V, which is a spinoff of The Boys and Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, has died due to a motorcycle accident. This was really, this is just really sad and devastating, Ashley. I remember him from his role in the Sabrina remake. And I say that to say he's so immensely talented. Like he was a standout, even though he wasn't obviously number one billing, he made such an impression in his role. And to hear about this accident at this time, production for Gen V is on hold indefinitely, and the cast is mourning of this loss. Ashley, were you familiar with this actor? And if so, what project did you come to know him?
Yeah, so I actually had just watched the entire After film series, and he was in that
Mm.
and the subsequent later couple films that they did. And so I was definitely, when I saw the headline, like, oh my gosh, he died. You know what I'm saying? So young.
Yeah.
The 27 Club thing in Hollywood is legendary,
Oh
in
my.
terms of,
I didn't even think about
unfortunately,
that.
yeah, it being a historical age that a lot of folks at least seemingly used to pass away. And so I just it so sad, so young, so much talent, so much life still ahead of him. Hated to hear this motorcycle accident. Come just obviously one of those things that just would come out of nowhere, no time for his family or friends to prepare. So I'm sure they're just
Right.
absolutely devastated right now. And I truly, my heart goes out to them because this was really, really sad to see.
Absolutely. Rest in peace. Oh. All right, Ashley, I'm gonna switch gears to something a little bit on the silly side. We're gonna talk about Ernie Hudson, legendary star of the Ghostbuster series, being everybody's granddaddy on the internet. In the thirst bucket way. I'm looking at people.com. Ernie Hudson, 78 years old, shares secrets to staying fit, reacts to online thirst. He says, nice to be noticed. He's making a splash on the internet, Ashley, because while promoting Ghostbusters Frozen Empire in London on March 21st, he shows up in a tight black t-shirt and jeans, and the guns are gunning.
And the skin is skinning as well.
It is
78.
I mean, the amount of
78.
wrinkles on his face is it's quite shocking, meaning he doesn't have that many.
78, you say.
He's looking moisturized.
He looks fantastic. When I saw it, I was like, ain't no way. Like, y'all
And
taking
then
black don't crack to another level these days.
it's like the dusting of the side grays. It's not, I mean, Sir Grady, he might get it dyed, but we don't know. He looks amazing. Okay. His secrets are his own. Okay.
Right. What fountain of youth are they sipping on? Somebody let me know. And then when they say in the article that he's a two-time cancer survivor, I'm like, you
Oh,
survived cancer twice and come on. Come
come
on,
through,
sir.
sir.
You are
Come
keeping
through.
it so together. But I love that he said that he feels that it really comes from a spiritual place. Like the
I
spiritual
love that.
dictates the physical. And so being in a good space and place, really helps you. And that's them's the facts. They say stress will kill you more than
It
anything.
really does.
So
That's why, I recently read this book and they talk about the different four dimensions. They talk about obviously our physical self, our mental self, our spiritual self, and our emotional self. And in the church, we always say we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. We wrestle in the spirit, and it's so true. Your outside is a manifestation of your inner being, your inner thoughts and feelings, and um, people talk about vibes and attraction. I think all that stuff matters. I think there are some universal truths when it comes to us being spiritual beings living this
hmm
physical life,
yep.
and your peace reflects your sleep, reflects your, you know what I mean, your eating habits and all that. And I find my peace in the Lord Jesus, but
It's not funny. It's just the way you said
I
it.
know, but yeah, yes, sir. What he says here, he says he and his wife of nearly 40 years try to hit
hmm
at least 10,000 steps a day,
Yep.
which is not too difficult since they have a dog. That's real talk.
So that's what I need to do. I be trying to get my steps in. Now that I have a smartwatch, I really be trying, but I try to at least get 7,000. That's really like if I get 7,000, I feel good. So I'll work my way to 10.
It was really eye-opening. I did a walk challenge for work, and we were supposed to have like 100,000 steps by the end of the month, and we had teams. And so essentially by the end of each week we needed at least 10,000 steps. Or was it, I might be calculating wrong. Anyway, working from home at the time, I realized I ain't really walking that much.
Yep,
And that's not
exactly.
all right. That's not
Right,
okay. And it's like,
right,
how can I fit time to move?
right.
So, yeah.
Importante. I'm working on my diet, y'all. I'm working on it.
All right. Well, kudos, Mr. Hudson, because he is, oh my gosh, inspirational for sure. All right. Let's talk about our final headline. Now, Ashley, it's not necessarily just one headline. It's just the overarching conversation. So today on Instagram, this is Wednesday. This episode will drop on Thursday. Amanda Seales went in on Black publications, allowing for these op-eds that are using her and her name and what she stands for as internet fodder in some ways, just talking about her character. And it's feeling like a smear campaign, Ashley. I'm not going to lie. And it's like, this all stems from her stating shortly after the NAACP Image Awards, her saying, like, why isn't she invited into Black spaces when her entire ethos is Black people, the our progress, our liberation, etc. And what was so fascinating, and the one that hurts the most, at least for me, like shortly after she said that on Instagram, Essence is like, "Oh, we love you," but literally the next week they had an op-ed that says, "It's time to admit that being liked is more important than being good at your job." And Amanda Seales' front picture is front and center of this particular op-ed. And the Grio literally just yesterday has an op-ed that says Amanda Seales is not a victim of anything but her own hubris. This is like the third article that came out talking about Amanda Seales, and one may say her abrasive nature, because she quote unquote tells it like it is, right?
Yeah.
Where is all this heat for Diddy?
Right.
Where is this heat for Candace Owens, who
Right.
had two major profile interviews with the Breakfast Club and Joe Budden, and they were playing with her, talking to her with kid gloves?
Correct.
They didn't even have smoke for her, who has it's a laundry list. But as far as I'm concerned, she's anti-Black. Not all skin folk is kin folk.
Agreed.
What are your thoughts, Ashley?
So not only have I seen the headlines and actually read through the Grio article for the sake of research for the
Yes.
pod,
Yep.
and I've seen Amanda's videos nearly in tears in reaction, including a long prayer that she
I saw
posted
that.
today,
Yep.
tagging this particular writer from the Grio. I follow Amanda Seales. I listen to her podcast. I do not always agree with her. There are times that I struggle to get behind some of her thoughts or opinions or perspectives, but I respect
Yes.
her.
Same.
I respect the work that she does. I respect the level of energy that she puts into causes and things that she believes in. And a lot of times it aligns with things that I believe in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Amanda Seales is not for everybody, and that's
Yes.
fine.
And
But
that's
I don't
okay.
agree with attacking her to this extent. I don't agree with multiple Black
Girl.
publications
Girl.
coming out with articles about her. I think it's too much. I think it is a overreaction. Maybe y'all feel it's a slow news cycle, even I don't know how the fuck that could be the case. Plenty to talk about.
Diddy just got raided last week.
Diddy's son, Christian, just got accused of sexual assault. Now, I'm not saying to go after anyone in particular. What I'm saying is that it is hurtful to me to think that we eat our own like this, that we attack our own like this. Like, to her point, Amanda Seales' intentions have never been to do harm to the Black community, and anything I've ever seen her post about, say, any of those things, while she may have strong opinions, while you may not always agree with her, she supports Black folks. And so I just can't get down with the that kind of eating our own thing. I would have never even read this article if it wasn't for the podcast.
Yeah, same. I just find it interesting that when it comes to self-serving men in our community who have a laundry list of things that they've done wrong and or said, i.e. Diddy, i.e. Kanye, I mean, we got a list.
Don't even bring up Kanye, Jesus.
But never really saw an op-ed like this seems systematic at this rate. Like, seriously.
I mean, if I were her, I would definitely be really, really offended and upset by this trio of writers who have decided to write these opinion pieces about her. I hope it doesn't stop her from doing what she feels is right, but she is still human. Yes. And probably has to digest it, because I know one of the big things for her is that she went to therapy because so many people told her that they didn't like her. And so it's like, am I not enough just being who I am? We all are flawed. We all have things we need to work on. Nobody is beyond reproach. So there is obviously always possible criticism. I'm not saying that there isn't things to criticize about her. I'm not saying that everything that was written in the griot was wrong. But again,
correct.
This collective attack I don't agree with. So miss me with that.
It's the collective attack after she vocally said, I am not invited to Black spaces and y'all are my cause.
Yep.
That would hurt 10 times more.
It's tough.
I just told y'all about yourself and this is what y'all do.
It's tough being in this day and age. I've never seen anything quite like it.
I agree. Candace Owens is right there. I'm joking.
Candace Owens about to be getting an NAACP award in the next 2 years. Where they letting her go?
They have let her slide.
I mean, I saw a clip at the Breakfast Club and I was like, hold on, why? I feel like I'm about to start sipping this Kool-Aid. Let me go ahead and scroll on up. I'm not agreeing with anything she's saying.
Yeah. All right, Ashley. Let's get into the main event, or should I say rodeo. All right. Our hot topic for today, we only have one, is Cowboy Carter. It's doing all types of things since it's dropped on Friday. The internet conversations have been very entertaining to watch and also very educational. I will say this album, 27 tracks, country album, is a genre bending one. Ashley, I think she was correct when she told us, she's like, this ain't a country album, this is a Beyoncé album. Yep. And I think what I love most about it is she does a lot with the songs that's on this album, starting with the American Requiem song. And in that song alone is music education of different types of country, pop,
folk,
rock, folk in one song. And then she does that throughout the entire album. And I think this is going to be one of the most meaningful albums of her career, because for me personally, what she's done since self-title has shown such growth and breadth of musical knowledge in terms of like tapping into, we talk about the gift all the time, the Afro beats with the gift, and even what she did with Lemonade. Like, Ashley, what are your thoughts on Cowboy Carter? Let's just start there.
So I first thought when I saw it was like, it's long.
27
I
tracks.
had just talked about the fact that I was hoping that it was going to be pretty concise. And then I saw 27 tracks. I said, oh no, oh no. Please tell me that it is still a concise album. And I mean, technically, given the interludes and things, kind of more like 24. And then, as I said, despite titles issues, I was able, it took me a day, it took me all of Friday, but I listened to the whole album and it was concise. I mean, it was a lot to digest and process through with all the various tracks and all the various sounds and really trying to hear the melodies, the blending of voices, especially like Blackbird and trying to hear the other female country artist she
Yes.
had on that
Yep.
track, and
Yep.
just trying to kind of get an understanding of the texture of the whole album. And I was satisfied with it. I mean, when I listened to it the first time, I was like, okay, like musically, I'm satisfied. I'm enjoying, continually enjoying these adventurous projects that Beyonce is doing with these three acts, right? And really diving into different musical genres that we weren't used to her necessarily putting out full albums for. So those were my initial thoughts.
I agree. And when I talk about the musical growth, I I learned so much. Um, I had no idea who Linda Martell was. Like, she is the first Black female country artist. And of course, she has the legends that we know, Willie Nelson and Dolly Parton on this album. But what I think was interesting in terms of her features, she has Miley Cyrus and Post Malone. And I heard someone speak to this, and I agreed. It's like she used people, artists who have dabbled in quote unquote Black genres and then dipped their toe in country and was accepted with no problem
Mm,
to be on her album singing country. Um, but what I love the most is the fact that she's given the Black artists of today, the Black country artists of today, a platform to be noticed and to be heard.
absolutely. And giving them a boost just off of the hype of her
Yes,
stepping into this genre, right?
yes, yes, yes. And that was something that we talked about before the album dropped that I was really, really excited about. I was excited to see because she did that for the gift, making people like Burna Boy and Tim's household names now. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right. So let's get into the nitty gritty, Ashley. I would love to know your top songs from Cowboy Carter. Now, I am giving you the freedom to do a top 10, top five, top three, whatever your soul is content with.
I think I have a top six currently, and I really realized I'm a big fan of the album, but it's the latter half that is like my jam, right? So it's
Really?
yes,
And before you get into yours, I love that you said that because it is very much a first half, second half ordeal.
yeah,
And
vibe shift.
what I love the most is that they blend in so beautifully from, Blackbird into 16 carriages all the way down to My Rose. That run is epic. But then to your point, the second half of the, dirty South, I like to call it.
Yeah, I think the Dream produced songs really hit for me. Obviously they've had a beautiful collaboration over the years, but in particular,
Yes.
I really enjoyed his songs that he produced. So American Requiem, just off the top, really captured me. Beautiful. Her voice was butter on that song. So uh I mean, almost gospel like in that kind of pitch that she hits at the peak of the
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
Gives me chills. It was just a really good
It's the
way to start the album.
look ahead.
Yeah, my favorite song,
Look at.
hands down, right now is Levi's Jeans. That's the one that for me, even if I'm
Really?
not listening through an entirety, Levi's Jeans, her and Post Malone just did the thing. Like I really enjoyed them. It was so much fun. Like it put me in such a good mood and such a good vibe. And I was wearing Levi's the day that I started listening to it, so I was feeling it.
On any. I need to go pick some up. Oh, did
Girl, I
you
was
see?
feeling it.
Speaking of the internet chatter, that Levi's jeans were one of the only brands that worked with Destiny's Child when couture houses didn't want to do anything with full figured Southern girls. And so the fact that Levi's jeans is getting this call out,
That's
I love
love.
it.
That's
It's
love.
it's the petty I appreciate.
Correct. Riverdance is another favorite of mine. Two Hands to Heaven, Tyrant, and then Sweet Honey Buckin', baby. Okay. Those are my,
Really,
yes, those are
those are
my top
yours.
six. And I know everybody loves Bodyguard. Listen here. It's not that I don't like Bodyguard. It's just Bodyguard is not top tier for me. Like it's a sound, it's a vibe, but it's not. I have heard some people Bodyguard, but I get y'all, but that ain't me. That ain't my favorite. So what are yours, Delora?
All right, so I would like to remind our listeners that I posted my midnight reactions to our Instagram stories, and I literally pressed play at 12:01, and I
I know you
rolled.
sent me a screenshot. It's like, look at Delora stand up. I sure was asleep.
I needed to know. I needed to know. And so most of my reactions are pretty much the same. But I didn't rank them. So here are my top 11. Yeah. Number one, I need to see this live. I need choreo from Beyonce. Everybody can do their own thing on Twitter. That's fine. I'm sorry, TikTok. But this is such Tina Turner coded song that I need it. And I need to learn the choreography for myself, of course. Number two, My Rose. This song is entirely too short. I was already bawling my eyes out because My Rose comes after Protector, which is the equivalent to Bigger. Now, I do enjoy Protector, but Bigger holds number one spot for that, that type of song, that mama to child type of song, right?
It
But
reminded
My
me of Blue.
Rose,
Blue, make it last forever.
yes, um, reminds me of Pray You Catch Me from Lemonade, which was entirely too short for me too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, why is she torturing me with these amazingly beautiful songs that are entirely too short? Number three, Blackbird. I feel like I'm about to get emotional talking about the song. So I knew this song was attached to the civil rights era. And I actually listened to Blackbird a lot during 2020, during the quote unquote racial reckoning um, that we were going through here in the United States. And so the fact that we know the significance of that song, and the fact that she has Black women singing that song, because it was inspired by the Little Rock Nine, and to have the Black women of country today sing that song, and in some ways repurpose it of, you were only waiting for your time to arise, like their time to get the shine, had me in my feelings. Okay. All right. Number 4, Jolene. One, I love the fact that the sole writer on this song is Dolly Parton, even though it was clearly written and adapted for Beyonce, because Jolene in its original form is a passive song, like, please don't take my man. And in this rendition of Jolene, she's like, I'm a bandy bitch from Louisiana.
Yep.
Okay? So
Yep. Couldn't have a
I
Beyonce album without her talking a little shit these days.
but when Dolly Parton called Beyonce honeybee, that melted my heart in just the best way. I was like, I love that nickname for B. I love that. It's the ending for me, which is not a part of the original either. Like, I sleep good, happy, because all the good deeds they've done, and you can't uproot a planted seed. And then she does the Jolene, 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 Jolene. Oh,
I think gorgeous. I like the lyric where she talks about I raise my man, I raise these kids. I know my man better than he knows himself type thing. Yep. That was one of my favorite lines.
Yep, exactly. I appreciate that. Desert Eagle, number 5. It's fire. It's a vibe. It's a bop. Number 6, Tyrant. I feel like I want to ride a mechanical bull to the song. Mm-hmm. Among other things. No. No. Number 7, Daughter. So in my initial midnight listenings, I said, gorgeous, dramatic. I'm here for that shit. When Sis broke out in opera, I was like, yo.
Constantly reminding y'all, if y'all don't think I have the range, think again.
And I was curious about the Italian flair, and apparently she's paying homage to Westerns made by Italian people, which were called spaghetti Westerns. And I had no idea. And that's why you have spaghetti and the opera. And I'm like, she really did her research for this album.
She's a student of music, you can tell, a student of music and history, but a lot it's, I almost want to put her on the equivalent of like the great athletes who like they study the game in such a way that I really think that's how she is about her music and about the project she puts out. Like, she's just constantly a student.
I agree. And people always like to talk about, and I'm one of those people in the past, it's like, well, Grammys like to give albums of the year to people who had like only one person writing their songs. But I think what she does is she manages and works with songwriters so well that she creates this tapestry, you know what I mean, of art that is digestible, but really good and authentic when you do your research. Like what she did for Homecoming, the reason why Homecoming is so good is because she was able to have her existing catalog and she was able to weave her songs together with Colty and all the greats and even the current rap songs of today. Like it's just good stuff around. Mm-hmm. Number 8, Bodyguard. It's a Fleetwood Mac vibe. I also put Daisy Jones in the 6. It was giving me that vibe.
Teresa said it gives her Janelle Monáe vibes, which I was like, I can see that.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. Number 9, American Requiem. Again, strong open. And I actually enjoyed it more after I listened to it more and more. Like the first time I
Mm-hmm.
heard it, I was like, okay, this is long. When is our next song? You know
Yeah,
what I
it's
mean?
beautiful. It's
But it's
so powerful.
beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Number 10, Protector. Love that song.
I'm glad the other Carter kids are getting some love because when I tell you, I'm like, Blue has been on everything. I need the other kids to start getting some stuff. They old enough now.
They need Grammys too.
Yeah.
Number 11, 16 Carriages. Um, I find it interesting that people legit was online thinking that Beyonce misspelled her name.
I think if you know anything about the history of the family, you know that that name, she's talked about the fact that that name has different spellings in different areas of her family. She's talked about that for years. Maybe it's just me and I remember some of those old interviews.
And more recently, Mama Tina was on a podcast and she said that even within her family unit, the name is misspelled because in the South, they didn't care about spelling people's names right. And she asked her mom, like, did you speak up? And she said, yeah. And the nurse told her, be happy you got a birth certificate. That's what happened to my mom. My mom name is Markel, and it's technically quote unquote misspelled. And I say quote unquote because we've been living with the way her name has been spelled, but it's technically misspelled or whatever. And that's because in the South, they spelled her name and they didn't fix it. So what do you do then? Right.
Right.
All right, Ashley. Final question of the hot topic of the day. Where does Cowboy Carter land for you in her all-time albums list?
It's not cracking my top three, but I also have not still gotten a chance to really digest, process, and live and sit with this album. You know, like my top three, you know, self-titled, Lemonade, Black is King, some of these I have listened to throughout time, throughout the years, in various moods, in various ways, you know, because for
Yeah.
one of the reasons why it took me forever to even listen to Cowboy Carter to start the day was I was like, oh, I want to listen to it in the car. You know, I love listening to albums from,
Yep.
it was taking too long. I said, it's 1 o'clock. I just got to start playing it on my phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't keep delaying this. And so I've gotten a chance to really have that music breathe and understand and hear it and go to concerts and see her perform it. And so it's just hard to put a new album on top of that. Renaissance still doesn't even rank in top three for me right now. So I just think I have to give this music time to breathe and live, and then I can come back and reevaluate because it's not cracking anything at the moment. What about you?
That's a great question. Sometimes I go back and forth on whether or not I need to add the gift to it, but I always like to. It is one of her projects. Cowboy Carter, let's just say this. So we've been listening to Cowboy Carter all weekend long, all week so far. And we were talking to Alexa, asking her to change the song, and it went to Renaissance. And I was like, I am not even in that headspace anymore. Like, I feel like they're so different out, they're so different. Because Renaissance was so happy and so fun and lighthearted.
Yep.
This it's a lot of stuff going on and it has so much layered meaning. Like, and don't get me wrong, Renaissance had its own meanings as well, especially in reference to the LGBTQIA community, right? But and again, it was just so much fun. We're saying yada 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 on a song. So I was just really shocked of like, wow, I'm not even in the Renaissance mindset right now. And that was the album for the last year. So again, the fact that we were getting back-to-back albums like this year after year is kind of just mind-blowing in itself. I think Cowboy Carter is probably number 4 or maybe tied with 3. So my number 1 is still The Gift. My number 2 is Lemonade. And then I'm just gonna have to put Renaissance and Cowboy Carter next to each other right now.
That's fair. We still have one more act to see what she does with it. In a review I read, somebody's like, I just hope she goes full out rock.
Yes.
I don't know what she's going to do, but I guarantee you it's going to be loved, well received, and beautifully executed.
You think so? I think it's going to be beautifully executed, but rock, I don't know. And you know me, I like to dip my toes more in rock than I did country. So for me, I am.
She's going to say, this is not a rock album. This is a Beyonce album.
But let's talk about future collaborations. Do you have any for rock? Obviously, she's going to have Jack White. We know that's going to happen.
I don't know. I feel like she has to do like, the Aerosmiths and the
really
some I mean, there's some black rock legends that hopefully she can get in there too. But I don't know. I feel like
Gary
she's gonna
Clark
go
Jr.
I feel like she's gonna go some, people who are up there who are still around, who are like in the legendary space, the Jaggers and some of those folks, but still dip back into the black rock. And I feel like it's going to be similar to what we've seen her do, right? It's like it's an homage to the history and to the legends who are in there, bring on some new fresh people as well, and then
what
add her own spin
on a track.
I mean, that would be beautiful if there's some unreleased or just collaborative music she could do. That would make sense. I don't think she's gonna. I think she would only do it if it makes sense, right? I don't think she would do it just to do it, but I mean, I'm sure it will be fun. It will be awesome. Maybe she'll have Haley on one of the songs.
That's like my number one. Like, Haley on a track with Beyonce, I'm going to cry and I'm going to sit on this mic and I'll be like, they wrote us all together.
Yeah. Can I say something that may be a little controversial in terms of Cowboy Carter? And maybe, again, I just haven't learned to appreciate it yet.
Ahead.
I didn't feel like her and Miley Cyrus's voices sounded good together. And I
liked it.
I did not. I was sad. I was like, hold on. I thought their voices were going to blend so nicely. It just didn't blend to me.
Really?
No.
I liked it. I was surprised how much I liked it. I didn't like the song that much because I don't like songs that talk about till the day I die. I don't, it doesn't do it for me. And it's like, I don't like to talk about death like that.
Yeah, I may circle back when I've listened to it through and through and through, because I think Mama Tina said that's her favorite song, and I was like, really? I just did not think that they complimented each other.
Amazing on it, and I think that's why I got excited about it.
I love Miley, but no.
Some people said that they felt like Beyonce was holding back on the song because she was on the track with Miley. Is that what you feel?
Well, I don't even think I would say that I feel like she held back. It's the same kind of thing I just said recently about my opinion about the track that Justin and what's her name did together.
Coco.
Yes. He added nothing to the song for me because of the blend. There are some songs you hear and you're like, oh, y'all sounded so good together. And there are others you're like, nah, I don't think vocally that was a good choice.
Interesting.
And I thought it was going to be because Miley hits a lower register a lot.
Yep.
But it did not work for me. It did not work. And harmonies live in my soul. There are songs that I don't even like the lyrics to, but if it's a nice harmony, I will listen to it on repeat. And so it just didn't hit like that for me. But again, I'll circle back.
Back to the rock predictions. Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, hell yeah.
Need that to happen.
Oh, hell yeah.
And Willow. Need that to happen.
Jada.
Can you imagine? But Willow sings well. Not to say that Jada doesn't. If you were to ask me to pick which,
she could have them both. She could have them both.
She could. Yeah, that's true.
That'd be fun.
Lots of fun. All right, Ashley. And I did have this on the docket. She showed up to the iHeartRadio Awards. First of all, I didn't know stars went to that. Okay.
Your boy opened, because I was just watching some of it earlier. Your boy Justin Timberlake opened the show.
My boy got it. Got it.
wearing some pearls. I'm like, okay.
He's been wearing pearls. I don't know what Jason got him doing. Okay, but yes, he's been wearing pearls and a t-shirt lately.
Lance was in the audience looking so proud.
Oh my gosh. But received the Innovator Award from the Stevie Wonder. I love that she just dropped the most random delicious tea of the fact that he played harmonica on Jolene. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh, yep. And Paul McCartney on the rock album too. Forgot about that. But yeah,
he was on this one.
He was on this one as well. So she outside, Ashley. She is outside.
Suited and booted.
Full speeches, paying homage to the greats. Here we go. Now, I think that's it. What are we recapping, Ashley?
One could say this kind of falls in line with the Cowboy Carter theme, maybe. We are recapping Roadhouse, the 2024 remake starring Jake Gyllenhaal, available on Amazon Prime. I watched the original, so I do have some thoughts.
I didn't have time to. I had every intention to, but
girl, and it's getting love on Amazon just for the fact of the remake, because the remake broke records for the streamer. So I'll talk a little bit more about that when we actually do the recap, but stay tuned for that, guys, next week.
I got shooters. Bang, bang. Bye.